For this project, I headed to Five Below and picked up this 3-foot skeleton for $7. Then I brought it home and began disassembling it. The skull and shoulders were attached with ball sockets, so I was able to pop them out easily. The rest of the bones were held with tiny screws, which I removed with a tiny screwdriver. I laid all the parts out, then spray painted the bones a navy blue color because I wanted the skeleton to look less scary and because I figured it would help it stand out more. Next, I crossed the 2 largest bones to make an X, then tied the end of some thin yarn thread around the 2 with a knot. Then I began wrapping the yarn around the bones in all directions until they no longer shifted and were completely secure. I made sure to leave enough thread to hang the skeleton, then I cut the end and weaved it into the wrapped yarn to finish securing it. After that, I used more yarn thread to hang the torso from the 2 bones. Then I fed the yarn through the holes on the shoulders on both sides to let it hang from the 2 crossed bones at the top. Next, I added some extra bones and feet on the opposite sides where I tied the torso to balance the weight out a bit. I simply threaded the yarn through the holes where the screws were, then tied a double knot. Lastly, I placed a yarn needle into the thread, then fed the thread through the hole in the top of the skull and down through the bottom. I then tied the skull in the torso by anchoring it over top of the ribs. I made sure it was fully secure before tying it off. Now it was time to decorate my patio for fall and Halloween. First, I started by adding some black and white buffalo check pillows to my outdoor chairs. Then I assembled this 24-inch stacking pumpkin set I got at the Dollar Tree. I placed this on my side table with a planter underneath for more stability. Then I added a white mum to my planter on the opposite side of my chairs. Next, I hung my cute lantern ghost, then the skeleton chandelier on some existing hooks. I also added some red florals to the skeleton to make it pop a bit. The last piece was my Halloween porch sign that I made using my Cricut. Now my patio is decorated for fall and Halloween, and I'm so happy with how the skeleton chandelier ties it all together.
Grab any color pool noodles, some black floral stems, and other spooky items from the Dollar Tree. Paint 1 foam noodle using black acrylic paint. Fold the painted pool noodle in half and use scissors to cut at the fold. Place down 2 Halloween skeleton hand plastic goblets. Add hot glue to one side of the pool noodle. Press and adhere both pool noodles together. Add a rubber band to the end and center to secure one of the goblets. Camouflage the rubber band using some more black acrylic paint. Drape and adhere some faux webbing over the centerpiece. Cut faux florals from the bouquet and insert stems into the foam noodle. Continue to fill and insert more floral stems. Turn on and place tea lights inside the goblets. I love how this Dollar Tree Halloween themed centerpiece turned out.
Pick up some skeleton arm salad tossers and wood crates from Dollar Tree. Pick 1 skeleton arm to use for the first project. Take a heat gun and heat up the digits to reform them. Take a paint stirrer stick, an X-Acto knife, and a cutting mat. Cut a piece about 2 inches long of the wood stir stick. Take craft paint or spray paint and paint the wood piece and skeleton black. Attach the skeleton arm and the wood piece to each other at an angle using hot glue. Take 2 more skeleton arms, a right and a left arm, and use a wood burning tool to melt the plastic to be able to snap the hands off at the wrist. Take 2 small wood pallets and paint them black. Glue the hands at the wrists to the painted pallets. Prep more skeleton arms and glow-in-the-dark chains. Take black spray paint and cover all of the skeleton arms. Take a gardening trowel and dig a deep hole to place the skeleton arms in. Secure with dirt and a heavier stone, hang the ends of the chains on the digits of the hands along a pathway. There you have it, 3 cheap ways to create your own easy DIY skeleton hand Halloween decor for your home.
Wait until you see how I transform these beautiful artificial leaves into 3 different must-have decor items for the season. For the first one, I blew up a balloon, I placed it on a sour cream container, and then I applied white glue to the balloon and placed the artificial leaves on top. I applied more white glue on top of the leaves to help them stick together. Add enough leaves until they are covering around the balloon to make a bowl shape. And then when you go back, you can pop the balloon and carefully peel the balloon out. Then place a tea light inside and enjoy for the season. For the next leaf craft, I grabbed a tin can from the recycling, I cleaned it out, and then I found some rigid foam and cut it to fit inside. I placed 2 pieces of the foam inside the can and then placed a piece of driftwood in through the center of the foam so it was sticking straight up. A stick would also work great for this. Then I used hot glue to add the leaves to the driftwood stick. I started at the bottom and went around and up using different shades of the leaves. And then I applied 2 coats of acrylic paint to the tin can and I added some moss on top, and I love how this turned out. For the last leaf craft, I grabbed a glass sugar dish and I removed the lid, and I added only 1 drop of hot glue and on each leaf, and I placed the artificial leaves around the base and up 1 row. I used some scrap fabric to tie around, and I placed some fairy lights inside, and I have the perfect DIY fall lantern. What do you think? I hope this inspires you to get creative with artificial leaves.
Grab a disco light and a skeleton hand from the Dollar Tree. Use black chalk paint to paint the exterior of a small plastic bowl from the dollar store. Remove some spiders from the packaging, and then remove the inside clip from the spider. Add some glue and adhere the spiders to the bowl. Adhere a skeleton hand to the base of the bowl and place a disco light on top. Now you have some super cute spooky crystal ball decor. Grab a ghost wreath decoration kit, faux spider webbing, and a paper towel holder from the Dollar Tree. Unwrap some faux spider webbing. Add glue to the base of the paper towel holder and adhere the faux spider webbing to the base. Adhere some of the faux spiders. Cut some slits in the back of the felt ghost and slide the ghost onto the paper towel holder. Secure the ghost in place with hot glue.
Can you guess what I made for Halloween using these foam dice from Dollar Tree? First up, I grabbed my foam dice and some craft paint. Using a foam paintbrush, I covered each dice with 2 coats of paint to get a nice even coverage. Don't rush this, let the first coat dry completely before applying the second. Once the paint was dry, I wanted to add some hair to my monsters as well. So I pulled out my trusty hot glue gun and went to work creating a textured hair effect on top of each of the dice. This was super easy, just swirl the glue around randomly to mimic some messy hair. Once that dried, I painted over the glue with black craft paint. This gave the monsters that creepy but still cute touch. Next, it was time to give my monsters some personality. I used a black Sharpie to draw on their faces. You can go wild with this part and see what you can come up with. You can make the faces scary, silly, or even friendly. I sketched out some monster face ideas on paper first and ended up with a mix of expressions to keep things interesting. I especially love how that green Frankenstein guy turned out. Next, to take the decorations up a notch, it's time to add some fun accessories to our monster guys. I found these cute glittery witch hat decorations at Dollar Tree, and all I had to do was pull the long sticks off the bottom. Then, using more hot glue, I attached the hats to the top of 2 of my dice. For the spider monster, I used a toothpick to poke 4 holes into each side of the dice. I cut black pipe cleaners in half and poked them into the holes, folding them to look like spider legs. The dollar store aisles are full of fun craft supplies and holiday decor that you can use to embellish your monsters and give them each their own unique look. This could also be a really fun project to do with kids. Just watch out for the hot glue.